You poor, clueless old geek.
Hey, you bit Steve from that old Yorkshire geek, a clueless old geek, no less. What's happening in my hair there? Welcome to my midweek live news stream, and Josh Temple's in the house already, early, but he's here, about 10 minutes early. You were. And Windgrace here as well. I'm excited they renewed Resident Alien. I've never seen it. I know it's got, stars Alan Tudyk, however you pronounce it, it's unfortunate. But I've never seen it. I've heard it's really good, but I've never watched it, so I don't know. So that's not in my news today, because it doesn't interest me. Got some news items that are of interest to me. Caught my eye. So we'll have a look at those. Links are in the description for all the news stuff. Later on, I'll put timestamps in. Josh Temple's seen 2 episodes. Cool. That's 2 more than me. But first off, we're going to be doing a review of episode 4 of Star Wars The Acolyte. It's terrible, but we'll go through it and talk about it. And I forgot to oil me chair, so it's still squeaking. I do apologise if you can hear it. Right, so where were we? Oh my! Before we start, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell. If you're subscribed, let's check and make sure we're going. We're live on YouTube. Yes, we are. Yeah. We should be live on Rumble, I hope. And we'll come back to that. Unbelievable. And yes, we're live on Twitch. Right, let's go back to Rumble. Come on, Rumble, you're going to play. You're going to play? Yes, we're live on Rumble. Yeah, God, blimey. Right. So you didn't like it? No, it's a terrible show. Not the worst thing I've ever seen, but it's not good. It's not good at all. But anyway. Right, later on I'll be uploading it to Spotify and Amazon Music podcasts. I think Spotify does video now, but Amazon Music's just audio only. I'm also on X, Facebook and Instagram. Links are in the description, as are the links for me 2 books. Give them a plug. You never know, somebody might buy one. Mercury Rapids, a light-hearted sci-fi action adventure about UFOs and stuff and invasions and all that stuff. There you go, look, it's got nice, hang on, got nice text in it, look. And Silent Predator, a short horror novella about big cats, genetically engineered big cats, escaping from a government facility and eating people in a North Yorkshire village. It's all good fun. They're an Amazon Kindle and paperback. Give them a whirl. Lucky you, it's your chair and not your knees and ankles like me. No, my knees and ankles, yes, they make noises as well. Every time I get up and down out of a chair, I sound like just a bag of spanners or something like that. I don't know, but my ankle, knees, neck, toes, feet, yes, everything hurts these days for me. Right, so where were we? The Acolyte. Right, we'll do the review of The Acolyte. We'll get that out of the way. Hopefully it won't last long because it was a short episode, less than 30 minutes. It was just over 30 minutes with the credits. So I think it was something like 28-minute episode, something like that. But something was pointed out. First time I saw it was on, I forgot what they called it, The Real BBC, Nerdrotic and Az and Marla, an X-Ray Girl. On The Real BBC, this was the first time I've seen it. The name of the 2 main characters from The Acolyte, Osha and May, apparently, I don't know if this is true or not, may just be a coincidence, but it's a pretty big coincidence if you ask me, is from a soap company, and I will demonstrate. There we go. A Canadian soap company. It's like a herbal soap. Osha May. There it is, in big letters. There, you can see it there. Look, Osha May. The 2 main characters. So does this mean Leslie Headland uses Osha May, or did Osha May pay Leslie Headland? Is The Acolyte sponsored by a soap company from Canada that does herbal soaps? I have no idea. I'm sure they'll say it's just a coincidence. But anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. And also another thing, while we're at it, there's a lot of talk about a particular character that appears in this episode of the Acolyte. Spoilers. We'll get to it eventually. I was going to save it until we got to it in the episode, but I get it out of the way now because I'll forget. You know what I'm like. A prequel trilogy character is in it called, well, we all know him, Ki-Adi-Mundi. Master Ki-Adi-Mundi is in it. What about the droid attack on the Wookiees? That fella. He's worried about a Wookiee in this one as well, oddly enough. He appears in this, and it's before he were born, but it's not complicated, but it's annoying. Right, so if we look at the Wikipedia entry for Ki-Adi-Mundi, a lot of people say, no, they've changed the Wikipedia entry. They haven't. There's just there's two entries for Ki-Adi-Mundi, and I think there always has been. There's a canon entry and a legends entry. So in the canon entry, it does talk about, it says there, look, Acolyte, contains spoilers for the Acolyte, and it does talk about here in 132 before the Battle of Yavin is when the Acolyte is sent. He was a Jedi Master. So there we go. In 132 BBY, we're a Jedi Master. But if you look in the Legends thing, he was born in 93 BBY. 39 years? Is it 39? I'm no good at maths. 39 years after the events of the Acolyte. So what do you believe? What do you believe? And apparently that birth date comes from the Phantom Menace Illustrated Dictionary. Aren't they supposed to be like canon? I don't know, these things that are released. Obviously not. So he were alive before he were born. So I just thought I'd get that in. But I suppose this is classed as legends, so they've changed it now. So he wasn't born in 93 BBY. He was born before that and played by somebody else. So I thought I'd get that out of the way. Right, on to the thingamabob. No, there is no source material. That's true. There's no source material, is there? They haven't got hundreds of books and stuff to fall back on and all that stuff, as Kathleen Kennedy said. Right, the episode. Let's get on with it, shall we? Right, we begin on the planet Kofar, another new planet. Can't complain that they're not using new planets, but anyway, could do if we wanted. This is where the Jedi, the Wookiee Jedi Kel Nacker is living. If it's working, shush. There we go. Come on, you're gonna do it. Why are you not skipping? Unbelievable. Why is it not skipping? There's always something in. Oh, it is now. It took its time, didn't it, to catch up there? Unbelievable. There he is. Here he is in his Jedi robes. There he is. Going to his little hidey hole. Whether the hell it is. Is it a crashed ship or is it a ruin or what? I don't know. But there he is going in there. And we see him getting about his thing. Oh, hang on. Sorry. There we can see him doing his thing, and as we notice, he's got lots of artwork on the walls of his domicile, oddly reminiscent of what we saw in the previous episode. Remember, in episode 3, we were back in time on that other planet, which name I've forgotten, with the witches. And they had these like spiral patterns on, that painted on the north. So got all that. Why he's done that? Dunno. Just as. It's okay. I just don't want to ruin it. If you clip this out, Popcast left mine up for a whole stream once. It's easily done. It's easily done. Anyway, right. So that's what we saw him doing. All that. Look, there we go. There he is in his little his cooking things. And it looks like he's let his hair, has it? Oh, no, he hasn't. He's still got a shaved head at the side. Must be woke. Again, I think played by Jonas Suatumo, however you pronounce it. I don't know if it's Kel Nacker's a male or female Wookiee. No idea. I haven't looked it up. I'm going to look it up now, actually. Now, Let's have a look. Kelnacker. Right, Kelnacker. There we go. Kelnacker. He is a he. Right, he, him. Right, okay, fair enough. It's a he. Right. Now I know. Then we're going to see his artwork, because he's obviously still thinking about what happened 16 years earlier on that other planet. And then we cut to Coruscant. I know it's Coruscant because it tells us, look, they keep telling us everywhere. We know it's Coruscant, for Christ's sake. Anyway, here we see, what's her name? Jackie? I think it's Jackie. Daphne Keane. I forgot the name of her, who she played in Logan. X-23, something like that, I don't know. Doing a practicing with the other Padawans. And then we see Osha, one half of the soap, watching on. Here's the Jedi Master instructing them. Looks familiar. Don't know. I've probably seen him in Game of Thrones or something like that. He's got one of those faces, hasn't he? I bet he's been on the wall or somewhere like that. I don't know. It'll be on IMDb or somewhere. Who is? I don't know. I can't be bothered looking. And then they have a really awkward conversation. By the way, I've got subtitles on. Get subtitles on. There we go. Really awkward. The dialogue in this episode is bloody awful. But talk about George. George can't write dialogue. George's dialogue is miles better than what we get in this episode. It's really awkward and stilted dialogue. There we go. Thank you for helping me find my sister. Prove my innocence. Clear my name. But surely the fact that she were light years away on a ship with lots of witnesses, when this... I don't know. But anyway, it's stupid. Anyway, she's there. She's saying she's leaving now because they don't need her anymore, so she's bogging off to somewhere else. Maybe she's going to go back to that other ship. I don't know. And then Jackie says she assumed she were going to stay until they apprehended May. But anyway. Right. You mourn the years lost between the two of you. For God's sake. Right. And then we cut back to Kofar again. And this is ship rumbling. This is May and Kimia arriving on Kofar. They're looking for Kelnack. And remember, they've got to kill him. And remember, she's got to kill him without a weapon. And apparently she hasn't done it yet. Apparently poisoned in the previous Jedi. Remember Torbin, whatever he's called. Poisoning him, the poison was classed as a weapon. So I don't know what she's supposed to use. Maybe force choke. I don't know. But is the force a weapon? I don't know what she's supposed to do. Maybe she's got to beat him to death. I don't know. But then the hands are weapons. Well, everything's a weapon, isn't it? So, but she's supposed to kill the Jedi without a weapon to please the master, whoever that is. Yes, kill him with kindness. Or chocolate. Yeah, that'd do. Don't get me started. I've got a lovely chocolate bar over there that I'm dying to eat. A mint aero. But anyway, I'm going to go get it now and show you. This is my treat for after the show. There we go. A mint aero. I really like them. But that's for later. Anyway, right. Where were we? Yes, so they're here to get Kelnack. Oh, dear. And apparently, Kimia knows the way somehow to where Kelnacker is. He says he's been there before or something like that. Nobody else knows the way. Even the Jedi don't know the way. We learn. But anyway. She's saying that you went in there and risked your life for my master. And I think he says, no, I did it for you or something like that. Is that what he says? I forgot what he says. There we go. To help her. Obviously, I think we're supposed to think that Kimia is going to end up being the master, Smilo Ren. I don't know. The point, all the big arrows are pointing at him. This is the master, but I don't think it's going to be. I think they're going to change it. It could be anybody. I suspect it's going to be. It's either going to be somebody that's dead, like I don't think it'll be Torbin, or Kelnacker. I think it'll be somebody like. It could be like what's the face? I forgot the name. Indara, Carrie-Anne Moss, or somebody we've never heard of. I was watching. What were I watching? I think it was Geeks and Gamers Daily. They were talking about it, and I put in the chat that nobody ever notices because it goes too fast. But anyway, in the chat that it could be the green farty thing from the Acolyte. Remember that? That were like an inquisitor or something like that. That when they killed him, whatever, it just turned into a green fart. It could be that, for all I know. Anywho, so they're off. Right, there we go, titles. Right, here we go, there's Ki-Adi-Mundi, look. Somebody mentioned Plo Koon's in it as well, but I never noticed. He's not in the IMDb cast list, but Ki-Adi-Mundi is in the list, the cast credits at the end, I checked. And it is Ki-Adi-Mundi. 40 years-ish before he were born. If you believe legends. Is that a bloody sand? Looks like a bloody sand person, doesn't it? A Tuscan Raider bit. I don't think it is. Here they are in the Jedi whatever room. Control room, I don't know. But look, he's got... it looks totally different because he's played by a different character, a different actor. I've forgotten. Originally played by Silas Carson, one in the prequels. This is somebody... Is it Derek Arnold or somebody like that? Maybe Silas Carson's not around anymore, or wasn't available, or is aged out. I don't know. Oh, no, there he is. He's not a Tuscan Raider. It's me. Is it Phil Tippett? I don't know. Or me. Anyway, they're talking about May, by the way. She's not disciplined, and they're talking about who trained her and all that stuff, And then they're talking about who she's after. So, obviously, two are dead. Indara and Tobin, and they're after Kelnacker, and also Saul, and there's Leslie E. Headland's wife over there as Venestra Rowe. It's okay. Fantastic Beasts had McGonagall in the movie as a teacher way before she was around. Is that true? Oh, right. Yeah, I'm not up on Harry Potter lore. Oh, well, McGonagall in Fantastic Beasts? Can't remember. I've watched all them films as well. I quite like them films as well. And I still maintain that, I forgot his name, him that played the main character, because I've started the camera, I'm blanking. Eddie Redmayne, he'd have made an amazing Doctor, Doctor Who. But anyway. Anywho, where were we? Right. So, anyway, they're going to send out a squad to go and find Kelnacker and protect him. So that's what they're going to do. Without Sol. And it's another one where they mention, I was thinking, you think a Jedi taught. They don't mention the Sith. Because remember, the Sith haven't been around for 1,000 years. Well, 900 years-ish when this is here. When Jude Law was teaching at Hogwarts, he referred to a woman as McGonagall. Oh, right, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Where were we? Yes. So it says, you think a Jedi taught her, and somebody else, could there be a splinter group? Talking about Jedi splinter groups. So, there you go. Anyway, so they're going to send somebody. There we go. Master Holden, extract Kelnacker from his post. I thought he was in hiding. I thought he'd gone away. I thought he'd buggered off and hid away. But looked like it, didn't it? But it's from his post. They also mention that on the other planet, which I can't remember the name of, in last week's episode, where we saw Kelnacker, Sol, Indara, and Tobin, where they went to the Witch's Fortress, the highly flammable stone-hewn fortress. Apparently, they were posted there as well. It says in this they were posted there. So did they live there all the time? They must have done. Anyway. Right, so extract Kelnacker, intercept Mace, that's what they're going to do. But Sol's not going with them, and he's got to plead with her like this to be allowed to go. So, there you go. Let me be the one to bring her in, and she reluctantly agrees. Right, all right, back on Kofar. How do you kill a Jedi without a weapon, asks Kimia. Or was it Quimir? Sorry. But I'm talking about you engage unarmed, but can you use their saber if you disarm them? I mean, she engaged Torben unarmed. He killed himself. Doesn't that count? Obviously not. By the way, apologies. I'll be burping and all sorts tonight. 'Cause I've eaten something, maybe yesterday or the day before, that's sitting really heavy, and it's playing havoc with me, me innards, and I don't know what it is I've eaten. I don't remember eating anything, iffy. But there's something. It's given me what I call popcorn burps. But burps that taste of popcorn, even though I've not had any. Maybe it's a sign that I've got cancer. I don't know. But anyway. Right, so there she's saying she didn't fail. She killed Indar and killed Torben. And then how does he reply? But you killed them your way, like Frank Sinatra. So they want to please the master, and he wants the master. Remember the speech in episode whatever, 1, 2. It'd been episode 2, wouldn't it? Would it? I don't know. Whatever. When she was talking to the master, and he was saying, steel or laser won't defeat a Jedi. We found out in episode 1 that steel will defeat a Jedi. And we find out in this one, spoilers, laser will defeat a Jedi. But anyway, they're heading into the woods. You have to kill the Wookiee without a weapon. You can defeat him at chess. Oh dear. Right, so back at they're talking about what's the face, Osha, being really fond of Sol. Right, back on Coruscant. Osha's getting ready to head out. She must be at the spaceport or something. And Sol finds her and talks her into going with them. So she said, all right then. It doesn't take much talking into. So off she goes. Right, they're off. They're on the way through hyperspace, losing their hearts to a Starship Trooper. Have I still got that? I'm just checking. Have I still got that? Bloody hell, I have. I didn't realise I still had that. Anyway, where were we? Yord's there. Again, not the word. Oh, he is there, look. Plo Koon's there, look. There he is. I never noticed him when I watched it earlier on. There he is. Oh, Plo Koon's twin brother. I don't know. Maybe they all look alike from their planet. Is that racist? I don't know. But Yord's there as well, giving his briefing. She's fed up because she's in civilian Jedi clothes or something. By the way, she's got Pip with her. And he's upset, is Pip, because she didn't have time to give him a lot of maintenance or something like that. But then this thing appears. There it is. Can't remember what it's called. Can't remember the name of the species. Windgrace will know. He'll tell me in a minute. But they're like otter-like creatures. And this is their guide. They can't use the Force to find Kelnaka. They've got to use a guide. Basically, he's a sniffer dog. He's a hound. But it's this otter-like creature who has pronouns, apparently. There it roars, look at Pip. And then Pip, for some reason, squirts something at him. Hilarious. Anyway, so she goes over and talks to Jeckie. There you go. And here we get the pronouns. The much anticipated pronouns part of the episode. And this is it. Is he or they with us? Why did she just say it? Is it with us? If she didn't know. Why don't you just say, are they with us? Because sometimes you say that, if you're not sure of a person's gender, you just call them they, don't you? Didn't say she. Could have been a she for all she knew. By the way, weirdly enough, Osher and May are referred to as she in this. There's none of this pronoun stuff. For an actress that identifies as non-binary, I just thought, well, that was peculiar. But anyway, so there we go. She's trying to get the weird aliens pronouns right. Anyway, right, so here they've arrived at Kofar. Here we go, landing. Setting up camp and how many is there? Oh no, they're in like some village. There's like some spaceport or something. It's like the Kofar version of Mos Eisley or whatever. So they're good to go ask, Basically, they go and ask the first person they meet, have you seen a big Jedi Wookiee, basically? He lives over there in them there trees. So off they go to them there trees. So we're going to find him in all that. So obviously they've got a rag. Don't know where they got this from. Maybe it was from Kelnacker's quarters under his bed. They give it to eat. They to sniff, and off he goes. They gave it pronouns. They call it he the rest of the show. I won't pay any attention. So off it goes, right. So they need a tracker. This little thing. It's kind of what they call it. It's like a tarin or something. I can't remember what they call it. They need a tracker to find Kelnacker, but May and Kimia don't. They just know where he is. But these don't. They can't use the Force, you see, because the Jedi are the bad guys, essentially. It's called Basil. Basil. Oh, I should have remembered that, because I was thinking, did they name him Basil after Fawlty Towers? Basil the Rat, the episode. It could be a filigree Siberian hamster. If you know, you know. Anyway, right, so... Anyway, they're talking. Don't care what they're talking about. There you go. Maybe Sol brought you here to face her, much like Luke had to face Vader, etc. Right, they're going through. They're into the woods. So anyway, so they're going to the woods. They see all these woods with these things on the trunks of the trees. It turns out these are creatures, some sort of, I don't know, like beetle or something like that. And we see them. They're all up in the trees, and there was a chance of a really good, exciting action scene here. But instead, we just got the Jedi murdering things. As we see, they're looking at these stuff. And Osha's got to touch one, hasn't she? She touches one. And Jackie calls her away. And as she walks away, it sets off. She's woken it up wherever it was. And it goes round. There we go. Heads up the tree trunk. So she's woke because she can't not touch. She's like Sarah Harding in Jurassic World. Not Jurassic World. Lost World, Jurassic Park. Anyway. So, then we hear creature snarls. And then the one she just woke up comes screeching towards them with its wings and all. It's like some sort of beetle or whatever. Straight away. Look at that. Umbra moth. There we go. That's what it's called. He ignites his lightsaber immediately and just kills it. Here it comes through the trees. Whooshing, cuts it in half like a Geonosian in Attack of the Clones. And that's it. Dead. And I thought, well, they missed a chance here, didn't they? Have a really good action scene. Why didn't all the others wake up? And they could be, bombarded with these giant beetles. And they've got to run for their lives because there's too many for them all to take on. They could run through the forest and get off track or whatever. And they actually lose Basil in this part. I think this part of the thing, they've lost Basil. He's too far ahead of them, and so they could have a bit, extend the episode a bit, where they're trying to find Basil because they've lost track of where he is because of the attack of the Umbra moths. But no, he just killed one of them. Went straight for the saber, subtracted to light. why did she not try and stun it when it attacks instead of cutting it down with the lightsaber? Exactly. Well, Sol, why didn't you just use the Force and stop it in midair? But, no. Just killed it with the lightsaber. Because, Jedi are murderers. Aren't they? By the way, speaking of murderers, what's her face? Earlier on, Osha talked about May. She said she's a murderer. And Sol's like, yeah, but she's family. Vin Diesel style. So it's maybe a murderer, but, everything, it's fine. In Star Wars, it doesn't matter if you're a murderer. You can, destroy planets and kill millions of people, but you can still be redeemed. So, why not in this? I'll give it that. Anyway, so, off the go again. Umbra Moth cheaters. Like I said, they could have done a great scene where they're being chased by hundreds of Umbra Moths. $180 million budget. But anyway. Right. They're talking about... yes, she actually owns up here to, the death of that Umbra. She says she touched it, she shouldn't have done. She disturbed it, it woke up, and now it's dead because of her, says Osha. So I thought, fair enough, she's owning up to that. But then Jackie says... there we go. I disturbed it, now it's dead. And then Jackie says, an honour to witness anyone transform into the Force. So basically, it's an honour to see the Jedi murder people. That's basically what she's saying. Unbelievable. She said she couldn't kill her sister before, and I'm going. She fired a stunner, not a ray gun. Yeah, well, she fired a mist. Did she miss on purpose? Don't know. For a stun thing, it caused a pretty big blast, didn't it, in the previous episode? But anyway. Episode 2, wasn't it? Yeah. But anyway. He thinks her sister's a murderer, which she is. But according to Sol, she's family. And me. Right, they're talking away again, boring. So you've survived a lot. Oh, God. Right, is this back with... Yes, is it? Yes, we're back with Camilla and May here now, because remember, he knows the way. Is this it? Is hang on. She's got to have a rest. That's it. I remember now. May says she's got to have a rest, and he doesn't want her to have a rest. So he says, "I've got to rest." So she has to sit down. Then she's having doubts now. Attacking a defenseless person goes against everything the Jedi stands for, and all that stuff. But I think we're supposed to think that maybe the Jedi attacked or killed all the witches in the previous episode. I don't know. She thinks it's impossible for her to kill Kelnacker without a weapon. Blah blah blah. But it's impossible. But anyway, so she's going to have a sit there and a ponder as the sun sets. Have they found Basil, or is it where they've lost him? Oh yes, they've lost Basil. But as I said, they should have had a bit where they've lost him because of the chase through the forest. Budget. They didn't have enough budget. $180 million, what was it, $22-ish million an episode? Not enough. Not enough to have a chase scene. So they've lost Basil, so they don't know where they're going. Maybe they can't use the Force. Meanwhile, Camilla's calling mate. There you go. And thrilling music plays, but he gets caught in a trap. Here he is. Gets caught in a trap. I presume May's set this up as well. Don't know when she did this, but May's set this trap up. And there's a weird thing. Somebody interviewed. It's on YouTube or somewhere. I saw it on Geeks and Gamers Daily today. So what's today's Geeks and Gamers Daily? What day are we on? Wednesday the 19th of June. Oh, it says there. Wednesday the 19th of June, Geeks and Gamers Daily. Geeks and Gamers Daily. There's a clip of a woman that did an interview with these two, Manny Jacinto and Amanda Stenberg, and they were talking about this scene, and Amanda Stenberg said originally it was supposed to be her in the trap and not Camilla, and I thought, well, how does that work? Because she's trapped Camilla, so she's decided, she's had a change of heart all of a sudden. But I watched that today as well. Cool. I try and watch it every day. It's one of my ritual things. It comes on at like tea time here for us, 4 p.m. And it's kind of my part of my routine to watch Geeks and Gamers daily. But anyway, she's had a change of heart suddenly. I don't know if it's genuine or what. I don't know. I think it is from what we see. There you go. I don't need to keep this deal, she says. She says she's going to turn herself over. She's going to find Kelnaka, turn herself over to the Jedi, and, basically own up to everything she's done. And he's like, oh, no, the Master will kill you and all that stuff. And they hear something, I can't remember what. I think Basil makes a screech, he finds somebody. But anyway, they're talking about blah, blah, blah nonsense. Thrilling music playing. May gets to kill Knacker's... that's it, yes. May trips up. Falls head first into these things. And then she finds Basil, filigree Siberian hamster. And, hey, little buddy. And so he screams, and they hear his scream. There we go, calls out raw. So they go, oh, is that way? So they're heading there. Kelnacker's hovel just happens to be there. Anyway, she goes in. She's calling out, Master Kelnacker, she says. And she sees him in his chair. And he's here. Who's she saying that to? I don't know. But herself, talking to herself maybe. Hang on, does it show us? And she sees what's happened to him. Hang on. Have I gone too far? Let's go back again. Yes, there we go. And we see he's being killed with a lightsaber across his chest. So Kelnacker's dead. So the Master, we presume it's the Master that's killed Kelnacker. So it's a case of do as I say, not as I do, obviously, with the Master, because he's killed him with a weapon. And that's why she's saying he's here, because she's saying the Master's here, isn't she? That's what she's saying it for. Then they arrive, and she looks out, and then Yord, is it Yord? Yorda, I don't know, I can't remember his bloody name. Charlie Bartlett, whatever his bloody name is. He gets his, what do they call him? His, come out with your hands up. What do they call them? Like a megaphone. Is that what they call him? Gets his megaphone out, or his force megaphone, and says, by the order of the Jedi, you must come out with your hands up. Basically, what he says, basically. And then they hear a noise, they turn round. I think, did it descend? Or does it just appear out of the... No, it don't. No, it just floats down, doesn't it? Is it going to show us? There we go. Float. Is it floating down? Ooh. A very slim frame, which makes me think, maybe it's not Kimia, maybe. But anyway, it comes up behind. This is Smilo Wren, by the way. Comes up behind Osha. As I said, not very wide shoulders, not very mannish shoulders. This is why I'm thinking it's going to be a woman. It's either going to be, some people have suggested, spoilers for what might come, that it's going to be Jodie Turner-Smith. Can't remember her name. In the character name. Jodie Turner-Smith, and it's going to be a I am your mother handmade sequence where she take the helmet off. Could be her, or it could be the other one that carried them. Again, I can't remember. Coral, I remember her name. With the horns. The Zabrak woman. It could be her. There's another mother. I am your mother. I bet they filmed several of them. I bet there's loads of scenes where they've just filmed people taking the helmet off saying, I am your mother. I am your mother. I am your father's brother's cousin's former roommate, etc. Anyway, turns round. As I said, it reminds me of the David Cronenberg character in Nightbreed, an overrated film. But anyway, there we go. Also a bit... I say it looks like Kylo Ren's. That's why they call it Smilo Ren, don't they? Because it's like Kylo Ren's, his helmet after it got broken and remade. Kind of like that, isn't it? Anyway, ignites the lightsaber. Then all the other Jedi ignite their lightsabers. Look, they're all... I mean, we got a blue one. I'm surprised, because it's out in Pride Month. Why didn't they have them in the Pride colours for the flag? You'd have thought they would, wouldn't you? It's begging to be done, isn't it? If this is supposed to be the gayest Star Wars, you'd have thought they'd have done the lightsabers in the Pride flag. Or as close to it as they could, because they couldn't have a red one. Or they could have had it from Smilo Ren's point of view, with his lightsaber up here at front. And wherever the red is in the Pride... Is the red in the Pride flag? I don't know, probably. Anyway, they should have done that, in my opinion. Is that Plo Koon over there? I don't know, I can't make it out. Anyway, they've all ignited their lightsabers anyway. Hang on, I've missed it. Hang on, there we go. And, it throws Osha using the Force, or it throws Osha using the Force. Looking at the hand. Is it a male hand or a female hand? I don't know, I can't really tell. I think it's going to be, the guiding us that it's Camilla, or the clues that it's Camilla, or it's going to be a big red herring. I think it's going to be somebody that we don't know. So it throws her, and then all the Jedi come running, and he does a push, throws all them, just like that, and then it ends. There we go. Directed by Alex Garcia Lopez. Who was it written by? Them two. And Sunday, there were another thing I saw on, it might be Geeks and Gamers Daily again, about her. Somebody asked her about something, and she replied on Twitter, and I can't remember what it was, but it was a budgetary reason, she said, or story, and I can't remember what the question was, and she said it could be to do with budget or story. I can't remember what it was. And they were saying, budgetary reason, that's $180 million. But anyway, so there we go. That's the end of that episode. Not good. Not good in my opinion. Boring. Not terrible. I've seen worse, but it's just boring for the most part. And the dialogue was awkward and stilted. But anyway, I'm going to get to the cast list. I missed it, haven't I? Just to show you that it is... what's his face? Oh, hang on. Where's the cast list? They put them later. There we go. A tiny little writing. Master Ki-Adi-Mundi, Derek Arnold. So there we go. Not getting a fight scene of it. Well, this is it. Is it we're going to get it next week? Next episode, we're going to get a big fight scene? Or is it just going to... Are we just going to skip over that? Or will the master have just disappeared? Will he, in the distraction of throwing them away, will he float off? It, them, they. I've no idea. We'll see next week, won't we? But don't know. But much like May used pocket sand in episode 2. This one's done a similar thing, the pocket sand, but pushing them away. But again, that's a clue that it's Jodie Turner-Smith, because she did that in last week's episode, didn't she? Using the thread to push people away. So is that a clue? That's it. I think all the clues are going to be a red herring, and it's going to be somebody we've never heard of. That's what I think. Anywho, so there we go. So that's the end of episode 4. Not a great episode. quite boring. And with terrible dialogue and like just Jedi murdering poor creatures, just because for. I don't know, but there we go. So yeah, it's not great. Not the worst thing I've ever seen. Better than last week's episode, but that's not saying much because last week's episode was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. But but it wasn't. It was the second worst episode because just things in it didn't make any sense. Why did they need a tracker? Why did they need a dog to go and find Kel Nacker? Didn't they know where he was? If he were posted there, didn't they keep track of him? Obviously not. So the Jedi needed a tracker, but May and Kimia didn't need a tracker. I think Kimia was supposed to have found him previously, hadn't he? For some odd reason. Again, trying to tell us that Kimia is Smilo Ren. Dunno. Anyway. Oh, pardon me. Popcorn burps. But anyway, no, not very good. But we're halfway. So we'll see what happens next week. Keep plodding on through it. It's on 14%. Let's check and see what it's Rotten Tomatoes scores up to. It dropped down to 14%. Let's have a look. The Acolyte. What's that? Go away. Oh, for Pete's sake. The Acolyte. Where are you? Oh, bog off. I thought it's bloody telling me you've got an ad blocker. Yes, I bloody know I have. Right. Where are you? Star Wars, The Acolyte. What's it on? It's still on 14%. There we go, I'll show you. There we go. Still on 14%. The lowest any Star Wars has got. Even the Holiday Special's got a higher score than that. I thought it might have gone up a bit after this episode. With this episode not being quite as bad as last week's, I thought it might have gone up a few points, but it hasn't done yet, has it? So, what's the Holiday Special? What's that got? What's that up to? Star Wars Holiday Special, 1978. What's that one? 22%. So, cool. That's a lot better, isn't it? Where were we? Right, get rid of that. Right, so there we go. Let's get on with the news, shall we? Let's get on with the news, finally. Right. First up, Spladosh. From Variety, Katki Stefan. Spaceballs sequel in development at Amazon MGM, but no Stargate. With Josh Gad starring, Mel Brooks producing. There's Josh Gad, there's Mel Brooks, there's Rick Moranis and the late John Candy. Right. A Spaceballs sequel is in development at Amazon MGM Studios. Josh Gad is set to star. Who will he play? Will he cast Barf? Or will he play Barf's son? Or totally new character? Don't know. He's set to star and will produce alongside Mel Brooks. 195. I don't think he's going to live forever, isn't he, Mel Brooks? Josh Greenbaum will direct the film from a screenplay by Benji Samit, Dan Hernandez and Josh Gad, while Kevin Salter will executive produce. I've not heard of any of them. The project is in early stages and plot details are being kept under wraps. Amazon declined to comment. He'll play Vomit or Puke. Yes, probably. I went off then, didn't I, for a moment? Unbelievable. Writing duo Samit and Hernandez are best known for their work as screenwriters for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, which I've not seen, Pokemon Detective Pikachu, which I've not seen, Addams Family 2, I'm guessing is that the animated ones? I don't know. And the upcoming Disney Plus Lucasfilm special, Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy. The original 1987 MGM film Spaceballs starred Bill Pullman as Lone Star, John Candy as Barf, Daphne Zuniga as Princess Vesper, a bass, Rick Moranis as Lord Dark Helmet, and Brooks as President Scroob and Yogurt, or as we call him in the UK, Yogurt. The space opera, it's not a space opera, is a parody of both the Star Wars franchise and other popular sci-fi franchises like Star Trek and Alien. Gad, best known for his work on Broadway in The Book of Mormon and as the voice of lovable snowman Olaf in the Frozen franchise, is next set to make his directorial debut with a Chris Farley biopic starring Paul Walter Hauser as the iconic comedian. He most recently starred alongside his Book of Mormon co-star Andrew Rannells in Gutenberg the Musical on Broadway. Is that about Steve Gutenberg or the Gutenberg Bible or something else? I don't know. This isn't Brooks's first time revisiting a classic comedy in recent years. In 2023, he wrote and produced History of the World Part 2, a follow-up to his 1981 Part 1 feature. Apparently it's rubbish, but I don't know. Brooks, one of the few entertainers to boast prestigious EGOT status, directed and starred in films such as Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein and Robin Hood Men in Tights. He was also honoured with the Career Achievement Award at the 84th Annual Peabody Awards earlier this month. Blah, blah, blah. And they've got to call it Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money. If they don't, nobody will watch it. So there we go. Spaceballs sequels in development. Amazon MGM. Where's the Stargate? Where is it? Amazon MGM. Where's the Stargate? Next. Next. One of my brother's best friends is the person that Olaf's look is based off. He's a friend with the imagine that drew it. I can't imagine what your brother's best friend looks like if Olaf's based on it. Oh dear. Oh dear. Anyway, moving on. I think I look like Olaf because I'm fat and white. Right, this is from Collider. Move over, Star Wars. Bryce Dallas Howard wants to direct another iconic sci-fi franchise, says Rob London. Much like, by the way, I do like Bryce Dallas Howard. I don't know, I've got a thing about redheads. Apart from my ex-wife. Much like her father, Ron Howard, Bryce Dallas Howard has turned her directing talents to the Star Wars franchise, directing episodes of The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, and the upcoming Skeleton Crew. By the way, she directed, I think, the best episode of The Book of Boba Fett. The one where they wasn't in it. But there's another classic science fiction universe she'd like to explore. Howard talked about her desire to direct Star Trek at Fan Expo Boston this weekend at a panel moderated by Collider's Steve Weintraub. Frosty to his mates. He's exactly like it, smile, and it's all it's crazy. Oh dear. Bless him. When asked about potentially directing or acting for Star Trek, Howard answered enthusiastically, quote, oh my gosh, so guys, I'm a Trekkie. I'm actually a Trekkie. God, I would love it. I would love it. She keeps repeating herself. I mean, wasn't the last season of Picard just brilliant? It was all right. I wouldn't say it was brilliant. I think everybody got a bit overexcited about it. It was all right. It was the best of Picard season 3. The best live action? No, I don't know. I'm a big fan of Strange New Worlds, so I don't think Picard Season 3 was as good as Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I'm sorry, I don't. But anyway, I did enjoy it. Terry Matalas, I'm so impressed with him and what he's done, so I can only hope. Weintraub noted with surprise that Paramount has seemingly not brought Matalas back for another Star Trek series, despite fan support for his proposed Star Trek legacy. Yes, including a tens of thousands signed petition. But it's Alex Kurtzman. He doesn't want to do it, does he? He doesn't. He took his eye off the ball with his other things he were doing. Man Who Fell to Earth and his Clarice series that bombed, but other things he took just bombed. So he took his eye off the ball. Terry Matalas did his own thing and did Picard season 3, and everybody loved it, apart from me. I did like it, but I didn't love it as much as everybody else. Too many unanswered questions for me. Letting Marvel pick him up to showrun their upcoming Vision Quest series. Howard agreed that the latter studio had correctly recognised Matalas's talent. Wingate says, Paramount can't even sell itself, let alone get new Trek off the ground. That's true. That's true. It's getting bloody Starfleet Academy off the ground, isn't it, with its massive Starfleet Academy set. It probably means it's mostly going to be set there and not in space. I bet it's going to be crap. What else has Bryce Dallas Howard done? There she is with her dad, Ron. What the hell? What does Mrs. Howard look like? She must be gorgeous because she doesn't take after her father. After making small appearances in a number of Ron Howard's films, including Parenthood, Apollo 13 and A Beautiful Mind, Howard landed her first lead role in M. Night Shyamalan's The Village, playing a blind girl in an isolated rural community. Although reviews for the film were mixed, Howard's performance was widely praised. She moved on to a number of high-profile films, including Terminator Salvation, where she played Kate Connor. Kate Brewster, whatever. Spider-Man 3, she played, what's her face? Not MJ, the other one. And the Twilight Saga, Eclipse. Oh, she in that? I don't know. She played park manager Claire Deering in all 3 films of the Jurassic World franchise, and earlier this year she starred in the Matthew Vaughn action comedy Argylle. She's next set to star alongside Orlando Bloom and Nick Mohammed in the Amazon Prime Video comedy Deep Cover. She's also in Black Mirror, an episode of Black Mirror, which were really good. That one all about social media and stuff. It was good with that. I enjoyed that one. Howard has a family connection to the Star Trek universe, but it's not through her dad. Her uncle, Clint Howard, first appeared in the long-running franchise in the 1966, the original series episode The Corbomite Maneuver, when he was 7 years old, as the alien Balok. He has since made a number of ha-ha-ha... Hang on, you're some Tranya, ha-ha-ha. I don't think it was his voice, was it? He has since made a number of appearances on a variety of Star Trek series, including The Homeless Man in 21st Century, San Francisco on Deep Space Nine, a Ferengi on Enterprise, an Orion on Discovery, and Medical Officer Buck Martinez in Strange New Worlds. I don't remember seeing that or noticing him there. I'll have to watch that again. Yes, Tranya. The First Federation. Anyway, never heard about them again, did we? Even though they had these massive Christmas tree light ships. Never heard of the First Federation again. Is it on any of the maps? It will be, won't it? The maps of the galaxy. Anyway. Much like her father, who went from child star on The Andy Griffith Show to Oscar-winning director, Howard has moved behind the camera as well. After directing a handful of short films, she contributed a segment to Call Me Crazy, a 5 film, a 2013 anthology film for the Lifetime Network examining the stigma of mental illness. In 2019, she directed the first season episode of The Mandalorian Sanctuary. That's the one with the... ATST, however you want to say it, and has gone on to direct one episode of each subsequent season, as well as one of the show's spin-offs, The Book of Boba Fett. She is next slated to direct an episode of the upcoming series Skeleton Crew. Isn't it done? I thought it would finished, Skeleton Crew. But anyway, whatever. It will star Jude Law, and follow a group of children lost in the galaxy. Howard is also directed Dads, an Apple TV Plus documentary that examined modern fatherhood via a number of celebrity fathers, including Patton Oswalt, Judd Apatow, Kenan Thompson, and Howard's own father and grandfather, director Ron and character actor Rance Howard. Well, you may know, there's been loads of stuff, I suppose, but thing I remember him from, he played the minister in Independence Day. He married Will Smith and Vivica A. Fox in Independence Day. Anyway, he was a main character in the war episode of season 2, the one where Chapel had those flashbacks to war. I probably saw him, but I've forgotten. Clint Howard. You know what I'm like. Howard's next directorial project, Star Wars Skeleton Crew, will be released later this year. Still blah, 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 blah. So there we go. So she wants to do some Star Trek, but she won't because, I don't know. We will see, but it'll be nice. I'm sure she'd do a good job because all the stuff she's directed for Star Wars have been pretty good, to be completely honest. Her episodes have kind of stood out. Anyway. Plus, she's got lovely eyes. Anyway, right, moving on. Right, what's next? Come on, there we go. Sticking with Star Wars. Spladosh. There we go. This is from, I don't know, is it GameSpot. Eddie McCouch. R-rated Star Wars is an interesting idea. Lucasfilm boss says. Not that boss, the other one. We've already seen a Star Wars character murder someone on their knees, pleading for their life. The Star Wars series has grown and evolved over the years, but could we one day see an R-rated entry in the spacefaring franchise? I'm sorry if you heard that. My son just made a really loud noise for no reason. That was the question put to Dave Filoni, the chief creative officer at Lucasfilm. He replied in an interview with Josh Horowitz on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast via Discussing Film that he's not sure, but it sounds like it hasn't been totally ruled out. It could be argued that Andor's pushing it, innit, into R-rated territory. But anyway, I don't know, he said. I can't do an impression of him with his, whiny, bloody voice that he's got. Kind of a shitty accent. I don't know. I think it's interesting, he said, when asked specifically if Lucasfilm might one day produce an edgy and R-rated Star Wars film. The bottom line is, whatever we do, it has to be really well done. Well, they've failed there already, haven't they? As an example, Filoni said the TV series Andor was so well done, even with its more mature and adult tone. Yes, it's probably the best the Star Wars series they've done yet, in terms of story and all that. As an example, main character Cassian Andor, Diego Luna, accidentally kills a person in the first episode and then kills another person who is on his knees pleading for his life so he can't tattle on him. Filoni said there is an audience for that in regards to more adult-themed storytelling in the Star Wars universe. He observed that while Star Wars might have started out as a more family-friendly series, it's evolved now and also still includes family-friendly storytelling at the same time. It's almost like your taste for food, your taste in cinema and visuals changes as you get older, he said, adding that change is in the DNA of what Star Wars is. Filoni never says directly one way or another if there will be an R-rated Star Wars movie one day, but he made it clear that he aims to honour the legacy of Star Wars creator George Lucas. They're not doing a very good bloody job of it, have they? Just lying. Because they're not. They're not. Quote, that's really what we are shooting for here, this community of May the Force be with you. What a crazy thing. This one guy invented it, George, he said. We might expand it, but I think we always have to remember the root of it, that we don't lose our way in the galaxy. We need 10 years of no wars. Yeah, probably. Probably. Or just do some good Star Wars. Don't write crap. Andor nearly featured in the first ever utterance. Oh, sorry, Andor nearly featured the first ever utterance of the word, of the F word, in Star Wars, but it didn't make it into the final cut. It was I forgot her name now. And Cassian Andor's like adoptive mother. I can't remember the name of the actress. She was in Harry Potter. She said it, didn't she? In a like the hologram that she did her final address sort of thing in the form of a hologram after she died. It was like, F the Empire or something like that, wasn't it? But there was a shit. I can say that. Somebody said shit in it, didn't they? So that's getting there. The line was recorded though, so somewhere on the tape is a Star Wars character saying F. Whether or not it ever gets released publicly is another matter, however. Good wars or bad wars aside, there's just way too much of what should be a special occasion, in my opinion. Yeah, pretty much. I agree with you there. I agree with you. Andor Season 2 is in the works. You go back to the 3 years between each film. That's what they should do. Should go back to that. And write good films. Pardon me. And maybe have a special, one series a year or something like that, of something, super special, like a Christmas special or something like that. Pardon me. Or not, I don't know, I'm just spitballing. Anyway, Andor Season 2 is in the works, but there's no release date yet. The latest Star Wars TV show is The Acolyte, which is rubbish, which premiered, well, it's going now. And the next Star Wars film is 2026 as The Mandalorian and Grogu, is it? We'll see. Oh, pardon me, sorry. Oh, God. Tell you. I wish I knew what I'd eaten. So there we go. So, we may get one day. I don't think we will. I don't think we'll ever get an R-rated Star Wars. The closest they got, in the UK at least, was Revenge of the Sith got a 15 certificate, which I think that's equivalent to an R rating. Because I think our 12 certificate is equivalent to your PG-13. I think our 15 is equivalent to your R rating. I think more or less anyway. So there we go. Anyway, moving on. Right, what's next? This one. Where are we? This one's from Inverse. A Star Trek veteran is reviving. We've mentioned this chap before. A Star Trek veteran is reviving a bizarre sci-fi cult classic. The Drak are back, and not the Drak from Babylon 5. That's a clue. By Ryan Britt. In terms of how we view science fiction movies today, the 1980s was easily the most influential and formative decade. But interestingly enough, by 1983, after the release of Return of the Jedi, the massive influence of the Star Wars franchise on blockbuster sci-fi movies had morphed into a new phenomenon. The anti-Star Wars sci-fi epic. 1984's Dune and 1986's Aliens are two great examples of this miniature trend, a moment where great directors like David Lynch and James Cameron attempted to wrest the storytelling themes and aesthetics of space-based sci-fi cinema away from the Star Wars mould, and sandwiched smack dab in the middle of this moment was a cult flick that bombed in 1985 but went on to become a classic. Directed by Wolfgang Petersen, Enemy Mine was released on December 20th, 1985, 1 year after Petersen's fantasy classic, The Never-Ending Story. And now the contemplative world of Enemy Mine is coming back thanks to Star Trek Picard Season 3 showrunner Terry Matalas. Enemy Mine is a great film. I love Enemy Mine. It's not exactly the most original concept. It's... Return of Starbuck sort of thing, or Robinson Crusoe on Mars, it's stuff we've seen before. Anyway, but it's a great film and done really well with decent effects for the time. Done by ILM. As revealed by The Hollywood Reporter, Matalas will pen a screenplay for a reboot of Enemy Mine for 20th Century Studios. As of this writing, this is thought to be a feature film and not a TV series. Matalas was also recently named the showrunner of Marvel's new series Vision, set to debut in 2026 on Disney+. Should be doing bloody Star Trek Legacy, shouldn't he? Based on a 1979 novella by Barry B. Longyear, I've read the book. I didn't think it was a novella. It was like a regular, book, paperback. But anyway, which were good, really good. Probably better than the film, to be completely honest. But anyway, Enemy Mine tells the story of a human warrior named Willis Davidge, Dennis Quaid, who becomes stranded on the planet with a member of a hated alien species, the Drak. However, this enemy pilot, Jeriba Jerry Shigan, Shigan's like his first name, Jeriba's the family name. Louis Gossett Jr., the late Louis Gossett Jr., and Davidge soon form an alliance, and eventually Davidge considers his enemy his friend. If this all sounds a little cliche, at the time sci-fi movies were nothing like this, and even episodes of Star Trek that used this kind of setup still hadn't happened, though the episode The Return of Starbuck from Galactica 1980 came close. As I said, it's kind of a Robinson Crusoe sort of thing. Ish. The point is, while this storyline was common enough in westerns or other historical dramas, it hadn't really been depicted in a sci-fi setting, at least not on the screen. And what sells this premise emotionally is the fact that Jerry eventually becomes pregnant with a Drak baby. The Drak are, asexual. There's no males and females. They're all, at a time in their life, they just become pregnant and so essentially they're all clones of each other, although they're all different. I don't know. Anyway, yes, that's right. Before Alien Nation in 1988, Enemy Mine featured a male pregnancy. Oh, did they do that in Alien Nation? I can't remember. And a storyline involving an alien baby who has two dads. Well, there's one dad, or one parent, and a surrogate, who ends up looking after him, i.e. Willis Davidge. After Jerry dies in childbirth, it's up to Davidge to not only protect the little Drak, but to raise the baby too. Essentially, Enemy Mine has three central twists: the initial fish out of water thing for both Davidge and Jerry, then the birth of Zamis, the baby, and then the return of humans to rescue Davidge and the ensuing chaos that moment creates. Shit. That's what he's saying there. Because Davidge has just built a shelter for him. He's going, sheet, not solid. In late 1985, Enemy Mine was a massive failure for 20th Century Fox. Unable to figure out how to make the movie appeal to the mass public, Enemy Mine was a box office flop when it was released, some of which was partially attributed to its production difficulties. Before Peterson took over as the director, Enemy Mine had been shooting under the previous director, Richard Loncraine. Never heard of him. When Peterson was brought on, the movie basically had to start over. The result was a quiet and affecting sci-fi film that still holds up today. And beautifully shot with some amazing scenery and stuff. So can this classic be made better? The answer is a cautious yes, because of Matalas's background with existing sci-fi properties. A reboot of Enemy Mine, written by him, could very possibly improve on the original. In 2015, there was no reason to believe that the Sci-Fi Channel's reboot of 12 Monkeys would forge its own identity, separate from the Terry Gilliam film, and yet, through Matalas's dynamic writing, the 12 Monkeys series became one of the best time travel shows ever. Still not seeing it. I didn't like the film, so I never watched the series. But if it's different, then whatever. Before the release of Star Trek Picard Season 3, fans and haters alike worried about the potential imbalance of nostalgia and forward thinking, and then Picard Season 3 went on to become the most watched of the Paramount Plus Trek shows up until that point, and united various disparate parts of the fan base together in a series that looked back and ahead simultaneously. If anyone can tackle a troubled masterpiece like Enemy Mine and make it fresh for a new generation, it's Terry Matalas, but here's hoping the Drak all look exactly the same. What do you mean all look exactly the same? Well, they all kind of... Well, they don't, though. They all look different. Even... I don't know. Richard Loncraine made Richard III and Firewall, did he? Oh, very good. Still never heard of him. So, yes, I hope they do a good job. If Terry Matalas is writing it, but if he's just writing it, who's going to do? Is he going to direct it as well, or produce it, or whatever? I don't know. What does it say? It just says pen a screenplay. So I don't know. Depends who else is going to come on board with it, doesn't it, to direct and produce and all that. Anyway, so but if you haven't seen Enemy Mine, give it a whirl. It's a a good film. It's not perfect by any sense of the imagination, but it's worth a watch. It's worth a watch. Right. Moving on. Right, this next one's from GB News. Whatever. Go away. Alex Davis. BBC Doctor Who star 61 blasts fascistic cancel culture as they fume my generation is treading on eggshells. Wingrave Frakes. You mean Frakes for Enemy Mine? He'd do a good job of that, wouldn't he? He'd do a good job of that. And there we are. There's what's her face? Alex Kingston. Actress Alex Kingston, 61, has shared her honest opinions on cancel culture as she prepares to return to screens on ITV's new drama series based on the subject. Kingston will star in Douglas. Douglas is cancelled, I think it's supposed to be. Later this month, a series created by Stephen Moffat, in which a respected newsreader's world is turned upside down. Hugh Bonneville plays the titular character who is accused of telling a sexist joke at a wedding, setting social media alight with calls for his head. Hollywood star Karen Gillan, they're getting all the Doctor Who people in her, stars opposite Bonneville as colleague Madeline, who may have ulterior motives in seeing the ageing Douglas relegated to the depths of the cancelled. Kingston plays Douglas's wife, Sheila Bellows, in the 4-part comedy drama, a tabloid newspaper editor who has to choose between her marriage and exclusive insight to the scandal. Ahead of its release, Kingston admitted she finds cancel culture a terrifying phenomenon, adding, it's sort of fascistic, really. Well, yeah, it is, because, the so-called progressive left, the ones that are usually doing all the cancelling, they're the ones that want equality and everything, but they're the ones wanting people to lose their jobs or sending death threats on Twitter and stuff. I don't think people realise how dangerous cancelling people is, what that has meant historically. My generation is treading on eggshells, not knowing whether what you say will unintentionally hurt somebody. This is it, you never know. You never know what to say. So just say what you think. Sodom. One aspect of modern life Kingston admits she struggles with is correctly identifying someone's preferred gender pronouns. Sodom. That's what I say. Sodom. I get really confused about pronouns, for instance. It's all in their head. It's their imagination. Don't get me started. Kingston told The Telegraph, I'm just not confident with how and when to use them. Exposing them, if you're not sure, just say they. And that'll keep them happy, won't it? Exposing the flaws she feels lie with those who make it their mission. Their mission. Because if you don't know, you just say their. Or their mission to cancel someone, she added, there is no empathy or sympathy. Opinions are immediate and black and white. Yeah. I hope we'll start coming back to a place where people can be kinder to each other. Oh, pardon me. Both in thinking about what they're going to say and hearing what's being said. Before she landed the role in Douglas is Cancelled, Kingston worked alongside writer Moffat on the sci-fi series Doctor Who. Kingston played the role of River Song in the show, and her opinions on cancel culture are somewhat echoed by Moffat. He told the Sunday Times, cancel culture is thousands of years old. Socrates got cancelled, Jesus of Nazareth got cancelled, and we're all hypocrites. Yeah, but they want Twitter thousands of years ago, weren't they? You basically got cancelled by either the church or, in later times, or whoever were in charge. That's who you got cancelled by. The ones in power, the people in power that you got cancelled by, not the general public or the court of public opinion. We're outraged with someone who thinks the way we do is cancelled, but we're perfectly happy to cancel someone else. No, I don't want to cancel anybody. I'll criticise somebody, but I won't cancel them. I won't say they should lose their job or anything like that. If they just had an opinion or told a bad taste joke or something like that. Anyway. But cancellation only works on people who are capable of shame and wish to be well thought of. In other words, it only really works on quite good people. It's a smart bomb that can only take out people who at least aspire to virtue. You can't cancel Hitler because he's dead, and you can't cancel Donald Trump because he doesn't care. That's what it's getting at. You can't, and they won't care. What is the point in a smart bomb that only afflicts and affects the civilized? As Aristotle points out, ine inungudi igineke ine perpavilato. Sorry, that's not the 9 o'clock news. As Aristotle points out, shame is a quasi-virtue. If you're capable of shame, then by the inverse you aspire to decency, even if you don't attain it all the time. No, but you can be decent and also not give a toss what anybody thinks about you. Not care about being cancelled or not. Doesn't mean you're not decent. You had to mention Donald Trump, didn't he? A bit of TDS going on there. I don't like Donald Trump either. I think he's an idiot. But I'm not going to just every waking moment, like some of these celebrities do, just go off on one on him. Who gives a toss? I don't care. I don't like Joe Biden either. Shits himself in public. He's the American president, the most powerful man in the world, and he can't keep his... It's bloody senile, isn't it? When all said and done. He shouldn't be ruling America now. They should have... An election or something should be called. If it happened here, if suddenly Rishi Sunak just started crapping himself on stage and all that, and go dithering about and sort of losing his marbles, we've got one coming up, haven't we? We've got a general election would be called. A vote of no confidence would happen, but no, it doesn't happen. Doesn't happen over there, does it? Anyway, never mind. So there we go. Cancel culture. Don't care. Did I just get rid of that? Have I had that off all the time? Or have I just got rid of it? I don't know. But anyway, let's move on. Don't care. Right. Next up, Dune 84 from Screen Rant. Who wrote this? Ryan Northrup. All my fault. Dune director. Oh, yes, it was off the screen the whole time. Typical. Never mind. Should have said earlier. Tells me when his bloody message is there, but don't tell me when it's not on screen. Dear. Never mind. All my fault. Dune director shares major regret for 1984 sci-fi. And there's Kyle MacLachlan as Paul Atreides. I love the 84 Dune. I think it's better than the new ones. I do. I didn't realise. I just thought you were talking. Oh dear. David Lynch shares his one major regret with 1984's Dune, based on the 1965 novel by Frank Herbert. Lynch's Dune starred Kyle MacLachlan as Paul Atreides, chronicling the young lord's fight against the villainous Harkonnens. Yes, I won't say Harkonnen. Harkonnen. Because that's how they pronounced it in that film. On the planet of Arrakis, also known as Dune. The film was infamously divisive, earning mostly poor reviews from critics and failing to make any kind of impact at the box office. But I love it. I think it's amazing. It's not perfect, and sometimes the effects are iffy, but I love it. I love Dune. During a recent interview with Rachel Martin for NPR's Wildcard podcast, Lynch reflects on his experience making Dune. Usually just fobs people off. He doesn't like talking about it usually, does he? Anyway, the director is asked about the failure that he learned the most from during his career, and he quickly mentions his troubled 1984 adaptation, revealing that one of his biggest regrets with the film is not pushing for final cut. Check out Lynch's full comment below, so we will. Oh, crikey. I could throw up any minute. I'm feeling a bit iffy, but anyway. Right, quote. My film Dune. I knew already one should have final cut before signing on to do a film. But for some reason, I thought everything would be okay. Plus, you were like a young director at the time. What had you had out? I think you'd done Eraserhead and The Elephant Man. I think that was about it, wasn't it, really? So you weren't exactly, Ridley Scott or Steven Spielberg. Anyway, but for some reason I thought everything would be okay, and I didn't put final cut in my contract, and as it turned out, Dune wasn't the film I wanted to make because I didn't have a final say. So that's a lesson I knew even before, but now there's no way. Why would anyone work for 3 years on something that wasn't yours? Why? Why do that? Why? I died a death. But it wasn't yours though, was it? It was an adaptation of a novel. So it's not really yours, is it? Anyway, I died a death, and it was all my fault for not knowing to put that in the contract. And there's Sting as, what's his face, blanking. Herbert's Dune has long been considered unadaptable, and one of the major reasons for this is just how badly Lynch's version was received. I think it's great. The film wasn't a hit with critics, and its score on Rotten Tomatoes is a lacklustre 37%. Reviews varied, but the consensus is generally that unlike Denis Villeneuve's acclaimed Dune movies, I still haven't seen Dune Part 2, to be completely honest. I saw the first part 1, and I thought, yeah, it's all right. But I've not got round to watching the second one. Lynch's version doesn't capture the grandiosity or epic scope of Herbert's story. Yes, it does. Have you watched it? Don't care about that. The Rotten Tomatoes audience score for Herbert's Dune is the production design on Dune 84 is amazing. Anyway, it's so weird growing up. I never heard bad things about Dune, and suddenly it seemed to become a hated thing. Yeah, I think it's great. I've always liked Dune. I know it's weird and it's not perfect, but, I think it's a good film. I really like it. I don't know why he hates it. Anyway. Says he didn't get final cut yet. They're still allowed his bloody... Which I don't think's in the book. His bit with the cat and the mouse taped together, and he's got to milk the cat to get the antidote for the poison. And all. I don't think that's in the book. That's very Lynchian. Anyway. Yeah, well, I'll start again. Rotten Tomatoes audience score for Herbert's Dune is a more respectable 65%, suggesting general moviegoers enjoyed the film more. Rotten Tomatoes wasn't around at the time of the movie's release, however, meaning unlike the critics' score, which does take into account reviews written in 1984, the audience score will have come from viewers experiencing the film sometime after the website's founding in 1998. And Josh Timber says, I love 84 Dune. Yes, so do I. I think it's great. Audiences, at least, I've got the 4K. I still haven't watched it. I'll have to get round to it. Audiences, at least at the time, weren't really connecting with Lynch's Dune, and the film was a notable box office failure. Made on a budget of about $45 million, the sci-fi film only made $30.9 million worldwide. It's not known if Lynch having final cut would have drastically improved things for 1984's Dune. I don't think it would. I think it'd have been, it'd have been too weird for public, acceptability, to be completely honest. But yet they kept that cat that they had to milk in. Anyway, and the heart plugs or whatever they called them, I don't think they're in the book either. I could be wrong. I've read the first Dune book. I've got the first 3, and I've read the first one. But it was a long time ago. Anyway, but it's clear that the director certainly has some big regrets about the film. So there we go. He always has, though. He doesn't like talking about it. And I don't think he should be ashamed of it. I think it's a great film. And people should tell him more. But, it's all egos and stuff in it. Right, let's move on. I want to get through these so I can go a bit ill. Go away. Right, next one from Looper. Get it up. Who wrote this? How do you say that? Paulie Poizuo. The reason Kirstie Alley Saavik wasn't in Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock, the late Kirstie Alley. Before Kirstie Alley became a major star, she went to the stars as Saavik, a major new addition to the Star Trek franchise in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Though the character was notably emotionless, Ali made a co-star furious in the controversial scene where she spontaneously shed a tear at Spock's, Leonard Nimoy's, funeral. I didn't know, I read that one. Made William Shatner furious, according to the link down there. I've not read that article. I didn't know that. But it made sense to me because I think originally she was supposed to be half Romulan or something, wasn't she? I'm sure I read that somewhere, that she was half Romulan. So, and she did struggle with her emotions in the film. So we saw her almost getting angry with Kirk at one point, didn't we? So, her emotions were there. It's a bit like, you could say T'Pol is kind of like Saavik, because she always struggled with her emotions, didn't she? Particularly as it went after she became addicted to that stuff in the Delphic Expanse. But anyway, and there's no telling what she might have done in subsequent movies if it wasn't for the fact that she never returned to the role. The Wrath of Khan was Ali's only chance to explore the character, and Saavik was played by Robin Curtis in subsequent appearances. And I don't think Robin Curtis got it. I think Robin Curtis just played her as a Vulcan, so rather than as half Romulan. Anyway. According to the novels and comics, Saavik was born on Helgard, an abandoned Romulan colony, and is half Vulcan and half Romulan. There we go. But that's it. That's like, Star Wars Legends, isn't it? That's it's not canon officially, is it? I suppose, but anyway. But I said Robin Curtis was fine as the other Saavik, but she played it too cold and too Vulcan. But anyway, for the most part. The reason Ali didn't end up returning is as simple as it is time-tested in the industry. Money disagreements. In a 2016 interview with StarTrek.com, Ali opened up about the situation and her reaction to it. According to her, the makers of Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock, attempted to reel her in with a lower paycheck, but with increased screen time. It doesn't work, Ali said. I'm not trying to sound ungrateful at all, because what they paid me when you did your first job is fine, but it wasn't like it was a massive amount of money. Trust me, it just wasn't. And so that never made sense to me. Like, you're not paying as much as the first one, and it's a bigger role. I don't know, there's these things called points or something, don't they, in Hollywood? I don't even know what it means. Did they try to say, oh, we can't pay you as much, but you get more points, or you get more on the back end or something? I don't know. But she didn't bite, did she? I don't think I said pass. I know I wouldn't have gone just pass, forget it. I feel like what I said was, okay, I don't get this. And when we queried it sort of gently like, why would you offer someone less money for a bigger role? They told her to bog off, probably. Star Trek 3 is The Search for Spock. By the way, that's where she's saying about Kirk. He's so human. Nobody's perfect, is the reply. Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock director Leonard Nimoy offered the production side of the Saavik story in his autobiography, I Am Spock. According to him, Kirstie Alley's agent was the one who got in the way of the deal, demanding far more money than was practical. Oh, God, blimey. We contacted her while the script was still in the works, and I hope I keep it down, I do. Was still in the works, and the salary we discussed was reasonable, Nimoy wrote. It looked like everything would work out, so when the script was ready, we sent it along for Kirstie and her agent to read. This, however, is where things abruptly changed. Look, we didn't realise how large a role Saavik was going to have in this film, so we're withdrawing our earlier figure. Oh, pardon me. Are these... let me check. Yes, they are. Just bear with me. I've just found some antacid tablets. I'm going to suck on one of these. Apologies. Here's what we have to have now, he described the agent's sudden counter. According to Nimoy, the new figure was actually higher than what Dr. McCoy actor DeForest Kelly was paid, so suffice to say, there was no deal. However, Nimoy also cast some blame on the studio, feeling that Paramount should have made sure that Ali had a sequel and salary clause in her The Wrath of Khan contract. There she's shedding a tear at Spock's funeral, with Scotty on his bagpipes, doing Amazing Grace. My stepdad's favourite part of the film is that, where it goes from Scotty's bagpipes to the full orchestra doing Amazing Grace. He loved that bit. Anyway, Kirstie Alley wasn't just being polite when she said that she genuinely appreciated her role as Saavik, even though she didn't return for Star Trek III: The Search for Spock. In fact, she was acutely aware that Star Trek changed the course of her career forever, and didn't hesitate to say so. That was my first acting job, Ali told the Chicago Tribune in 1996, so I owe everything to that film, to director Nicholas Meyer. I remember every single solitary second of that experience. I was the happiest girl in the world because Nick gave me the biggest shot anyone could ever give an actress. Though the business side of things cut her time as Saavik short, Ali, who died in 2022, went on to do very well for herself on other fronts. She became a regular on the classic sitcom Cheers, was one of the stars in the Look Who's Talking film series, starred in assorted shows, including the sitcom Veronica's Secrets, and the genre parody Scream Queens, and won 2 Emmys over the course of her career. And she was also in Runaway with Tom Selleck and Deadly Pursuit, which I think in America would call Shoot to Kill. But Deadly Pursuit is a really, really, really good film starring her, Tom Berenger, Sidney Poitier, Clancy Brown, Andrew Robinson, another Star Trek alumnus, and others. Really good film is that. I might do that one day on Magnificent Mondays. Deadly Pursuit, a.k.a. Shoot to Kill. Really good film. So there we go. Just thought I'd share that one. Right, next. Nearly done. Right, what's this one? Right, this one's from Giant Freaking Robot, Chris Snellgrove. Here it is. The shocking origin behind Obi-Wan Kenobi's secret homeworld. There he is. There's young Ben. You might think you know a lot about Star Wars, but pop quiz, hot shot, do you know what Obi-Wan Kenobi's homeworld is? By the way, I always, is it the same one as Qui-Gon Jinn? Because they've got similar names, haven't they? Obi-Wan Kenobi, Qui-Gon Jinn, both hyphenated first names. I don't know. Maybe it's in the Wikipedia, I don't know, I've not checked. It would be impressive if you did, as the name of this planet was never mentioned by the Jedi Master. However, sorry, I'm still sucking this antacid tablet. I'll just chew it and swallow it, shall I? Can you hear that? Bear with me. Maybe I'll keep the vomit at bay. Or is it the bath? Anyway, where were we? However, in a conversation with Jon Stewart, George Lucas once joked that Kenobi was from a planet named Stew John. And that bizarre joke became part of Star Wars canon. Or did it? Make that a short. What, me chewing on an antacid tablet? Before we can explain how such a stupid name, even by the standards of Star Wars names, became part of the franchise canon, you need to know a bit how canon worked back then. By the way, notice they're not showing Alec Guinness. We're going to see him later on. No Alec Guinness. Oh, there he is. Bless him. Right. Where were we? Back before he sold everything to Disney, I still think it was a hostile takeover. I do. George Lucas, orchestrated by Kathleen Kennedy. I do. I think that's what happened. I think she knew she had something on George Lucas. Somehow took over Lucasfilm. I want to retire suddenly, and I'm going to let Kathleen Kennedy take over. And then suddenly it was sold to Disney. I think there was something fishy going on there in the background. That's what I think, anyway. Anyway, George Lucas was quite literally the ultimate authority on Star Wars history. I know George thought that they were going to make his films, his 7, 8 and 9, and he'd written his treatments and stuff and sold them to Disney, hadn't they? But, they betrayed him. Anyway. For they were all deceived. Anyway, whatever. Back before he sold everything to Disney, George Lucas was quite literally the ultimate authority on Star Wars history. The standing policy was to treat anything he said about this universe and its characters as real, even when he was making what was clearly a joke. The Stew John bit came up during the 5th Star Wars Celebration event that brought fans from all over the world to Orlando, Florida in 2010. It also brought Daily Show legend Jon Stewart, who served as the host of the entire convention. As host, he spent some FaceTime, with George Lucas himself, and their interview was considered the main event for this Star Wars loving. A more wretched hive of scum and villainy. I'm ready for your I can't do George Lucas, I can't do him. I am no Rich Evans, he can do a good George Lucas. George Lucas cracked several jokes while speaking to his comedian host, one of which was about the existence of Skywalker wine. Lucas claimed that Skywalker was such a common name in this galaxy far, far away that Darth Vader wouldn't immediately realise that a heroic rebel pilot with the last name Skywalker was his son. He talks out of his arse, doesn't he? He does. I mean, even in the book, the novelisation by Alan Dean Foster, supposed to be by George Lucas, but, Ghost written by Alan Dean Foster. I think it even mentions in there that Luke Skywalker had a weird name for a farmer, for a farm boy. But anyway, Lucas said the name was so ubiquitous that Skywalker wine was a famous brand, and it didn't take long before Skywalker wine was made part of the Star Wars canon. What is it made from? The mushrooms that they find on the moisture evaporators. Arguably, though, the craziest revelation from this celebration is that Obi-Wan Kenobi is from a planet named Stew John. This is one of the first things I wrote in the very first script, Lucas claimed. This was another Lucas joke, and the punchline begins and ends with the fact that he was talking to a man named Jon Stewart. Oh, pardon me. As with the Skywalker wine, though, the word of Lucas was law, and this became the official homeworld for everyone's favourite Jedi Master. I'm going to look now. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Oh, pardon me, Wikipedia. Have a look. Yep, Homeworld, Stew John. It does say it. It does say Stew John, yes. So there we go. So where's Qui-Gon Jinn from then? Does it say? Where's his master? Qui-Gon Jinn must be here somewhere. Sorry, I'm just curious. Where's he from? Oh, it's from Coruscant. I didn't know that. He's a local boy. Hope his friends like it better than Chateau Picard. Which is famously horrible, isn't it? Apparently, Chateau Picard. But anyway. Right. I forgot what it was now. Oh, and in case you were wondering, Obi-Wan Kenobi never says anything about Stew John in any of the movies, books, comics, or games. Conveniently, the Jedi doesn't really remember anything about his homeworld, including leaving it. He said as much to Anakin Skywalker in the Age of the Republic one-shot, fittingly titled Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't know that one. There's always a chance that a future Disney-era Star Wars... When was that made, then? I don't even know that. One-shot? Is that a comic? I don't know. I don't know. There's always a chance that a future Disney-era Star Wars show or even movie might shed some light on Obi-Wan Kenobi's homeworld and the general circumstances of his joining the Jedi Order. Should that happen, this is one of the few times we're begging Disney to make one of the previously established bits of franchise law. If we ever have to hear about it on screen, can Kenobi please come from a planet with a better name than Stew John? No, that's what it is now. Tough. That's meant to do. A one-shot means it's just one issue, not planned to be ongoing. So it's a comic. It were a comic then, all right. Still, dumb names are part and parcel of this fictional galaxy, and let's face it, if nobody ever enjoyed bad George Lucas jokes, there wouldn't be so many fans of his biggest joke of all, the prequels. Piss off! Is that it? Unbelievable. Who wrote this bloody nonsense? I've forgotten. Oh, Chris Snellgrove. I think I've ranted at him about him before, haven't he? Talks out of his ass, doesn't he? Chris Snellgrove, a giant freaking robot. It's Stu, John. Live with it. Right, next up. Stick with Star Wars. This is the last one, by the way. Again, giant freaking robot. Chris Snellgrove again. The mysterious Jedi created by a typo. Chris Snellgrove reports. He'll probably talk out of his ass again. No matter how often you watch the Star Wars prequels, one of your bigger questions is going to be who Jedi Master Cypher Dyas was and what his motivation was in authorizing the creation of a clone army. As you might expect, later media tried to expand more on this mysterious Jedi, who we never saw on screen. In a strange twist, one of the reasons we saw so little of Cypher Dyas is simple. He was never meant to be a character at all, and he was only created due to a typo in an Attack of the Clones script. At this point, by the way, there's Obi-Wan with on Camino. At this point, you're probably wondering how Attack of the Clones would have worked if Cypher Dyas was never a character. After all, somebody has to authorise the creation of the Old Republic's clone army, and Obi-Wan has to find some kind of name to bring back to the Jedi Council as he investigates Camino. If Cypher Dyas wasn't that person, then who would it have been? It was Palpatine all along, and it's Palpatine then, isn't it? Like, I love democracy. I love freedom. Yeah, of course you do. Like most questions regarding the Star Wars prequels, the answer is that it was Palpatine all along. You see, in the original Attack of the Clones script, the character was meant to be named Cydo Dyas, as in Sidious. I always thought Cypher Dyas sounded like Sid. But it wasn't, because I think they covered it in Clone Wars series, didn't they, I think. Anyway, and he wasn't a new character at all. Instead, this was meant to be an extremely goofy pseudonym for Darth Sidious. As you might imagine, the script was a bit different when Cypher Dyas wasn't a separate character. In this early version, Obi-Wan Kenobi gets the name of Cydo Dyas from the cloners and asks the Jedi Council if they know any Jedi Master by that name. None of them do, leaving the character's true identity a mystery, a phantom menace, you might say, albeit a mystery that fans could solve easily enough by saying his name out loud. Yes, but they didn't know who he was, did they? They didn't know there were a Darth Sidious knocking about, did they? Anyway. Jar Jar, you might say, yes. Darth Jar Jar. So how did we end up with Cypher Dyas instead of Cydo Dyas? In an early script for Attack of the Clones, there was a typo spelling the character's name as Cypher Dyas. And I'm guessing George didn't type this up, because he was famous for writing it in hand on his yellow legal pads. So he'll have had somebody type it up for him, wouldn't he? I imagine. George Lucas, always open to new ideas, liked how the name sounded and dropped the plan to make the new character nothing more than a pseudonym for Darth Sidious. Of course, that meant simultaneously turning him into a separate character and taking that character off the board by explaining that he was killed a decade previously. Originally, Lucas planned to elaborate a bit more on who Cypher Dyas was in Revenge of the Sith, but he dropped those plans in favour of focusing more on Anakin Skywalker. Eventually, the Clone Wars episode The Lost One revealed that Cypher Dyas was a Jedi who foresaw the need for the Republic to raise a great army, and that the Council thought he was too extreme. We also found out that he was killed by the Pike Syndicate under the orders of Count Dooku, even as Kenobi realises Dooku was telling the truth about everyone getting played by a Sith Lord. But if he just went to Camino and said, make us, make the Republic a, this army of clones, how did he pay them? Or did he just say, don't worry, the Republic will pay you, down the line, 10 years from now, when they're ready. Anyway, I don't know. It will also handy, wasn't it, that the clones would just happen to be ready when they needed to be. But anyway. Darth Jar Jar did great in Acolyte episode 4. Oh, is it Darth Jar Jar under that mask? It is, isn't it? Because we don't know how old he is, do we? Could be any age for all we know. Anyway, despite all that belated backstory, we still have questions about Cypher DS, including whether he was manipulated by visions from Palpatine, as happened to Anakin, into creating the clone army, perhaps a later season of Tales of the Jedi. Or another show will eventually reveal more of this mysterious character's secrets. Until then, we'll just marvel that the character wouldn't exist at all, if not for a single typo that George Lucas fell in love with. Oh, that's it. Well, typos can change movie titles as well, because the James Bond film, Tomorrow Never Dies, was its original title was supposed to be Tomorrow Never Lies, because it was about a newspaper called Tomorrow. So there you go. And that had a typo. Whoever typed up the script just typed Tomorrow Never Dies instead of Lies, and they thought, well, that sounds better, more dynamic, so they went with that instead. Anywho, but I don't think we'll ever find out more about. They've done him, haven't they? Cypher DS now. They've done him, explained him to their satisfaction, and that's it. Forget about him now. Done with. Right. I think that was the last one. Yes, it was. That was the last one. So we can all bog off, and I can go and either throw up or just sit in my chair going, like you do. Or breathing heavy. I'll be watching TV and going, like you do. Anyway, go eat your candy. I won't enjoy it if I'm not feeling too well. Anyway, we'll leave it there. What's coming up next? Right, Friday for Appointment with Fear. This week we're doing Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one and the best one. That's coming up then. So I've got the Blu-ray. Lots of special features to watch on that. I hope I can get them all in. Then on Monday, Sunday sketch time probably. Number 15. I haven't decided what. Then on Monday for Magnificent Mondays, I forgot the bloody name of my own show. Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger, yeah, because it's the Eye of the Tiger. Wrong film, never mind. Patrick Wayne as Sinbad. The remake, I assume. No, not the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street. Elm Street. Bloody awful, that one. It's terrible. Although it did have interesting things like about, what they call them, micro dreams, or whatever they're called, and where you can like nod off for like a fraction of a second and like, have like a massive long dream in it. But anyway. Where am I? Next Friday's, a week on Friday's Appointment with Fear is Pearl. So that's a great film, is that? Miles better than, it's a prequel to the film X by Ty West. It's miles better. I wasn't a big fan of X, and I'm a Ty West fan. But anyway, Buy Not Bully. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying there, Josh. Sorry. But no, it's not the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street. It's the original one. Right, so that's it. We're done. So thanks, Win Grace and Josh. I think that's all we had, wasn't it, tonight? Yeah. So we'll leave it there. I'll chop out my review of episode 4 of Acolyte and upload that as a separate thing. And then I'll put the timestamps in and all that stuff in this video. So we'll leave it there. So I'm done now. So thanks for watching. Wherever you are, look after each other. And until next time, I'll say there. Hang on, I'm still here. I'm still here. I've missed something, haven't I? I'm back again. I'm back. Sorry, Josh was correcting his chat from above my comment about the remake. Oh, yeah, sorry, I didn't see that there. Sorry, Josh. They said it was Jar Jar. Bully saying he collects bodies, but by not Bully. Jar Jar by saying he collects bodies. All right, I see. Right, okie dokie. In the Acolyte, they're saying it was Jar Jar because he collects the bodies. Oh, right, I see. Anyway, sorry about that, Josh. I missed that. I do apologise. Anywho, right, I'm going again now. Yes, you take care. And Josh Temple, you take care. No double features. I was thinking about doing a double feature for July the 4th. I was thinking about doing a special Magnificent Monday on July the 4th, which I think is on a Thursday this year. I was thinking of doing Independence Day and Independence Day Resurgence. We'll see. No promises. Right. I'm going this time, definitely. So, again, thanks for watching. Wherever you are, look after each other. And until next time, I'll see you.